Hello and welcome to the presentation on how LoRaWAN helps with recovery of koalas after wildfires in Australia. My name is Tomasz Szukle and I'm your host at today's presentation. I am a CEO and co-founder of the company Sensedge. At Sensedge, we are devoted to developing innovative, sustainable and also open IoT solutions. And as always for us, it starts with TTN. Last year, we were at a conference in South Australia, in Adelaide, when the fires in Australia just started. And we were talking to our partners, Opensensing, how can we address this? And the idea evolved and came at its best in Amsterdam this year in January, when we were discussing about wildlife back at the Kangaroo Island, when the impact of fires was the greatest. And those koalas there were thirsty and also wildlife in general. So people were trying to help them in a ways they could come across. So here is an example of koala water station, a DIY koala water station that was deployed around Kangaroo Island. But the problem with this device was that these tanks get empty and nobody really knows when. So they put a lot of effort and time to go around to check whether the water is inside or not. So they wanted to make these devices smarter by monitor water levels within it. So our partners actually tried to find a solution, but at the time, no solution fitted the use case. So they presented us with a problem and we said, okay, that is quite interesting. So let's go for it. And in 2.5 months' time, we built Watersense LoRaWAN water level sensor that we have here on the right-hand side. It's very compact, it's shy of 80 millimeters in diameter, and it's installed on the top of lid and measures water level. So a bit more information on the sensor. So it uses laser time of flight sensor. It measures up to 2.5 meters. We put a lot of effort, so it measures correctly in very narrow pipes down to 80 millimeters. And it's sending data both periodically and upon movement, which is really desirable feature since it gives better information on the utilization of the water tanks and maybe better planning of those, the deployment of those tanks in the future. It uses 2 AAA batteries. It should last up to 5 years based on the measurements in the lab. And we already talked about its compact shape. So these devices that we have here on the right-hand side are being deployed on a Kangaroo Island as we speak. And what is interesting about this project is it opened the horizon of new options for deployments that we are taking and making in the future. So one of them being virtual dam project that addresses the problem of urban flooding during storms in winter time in Australia. So the water scarcity is a problem in Australia. However, when it rains, it pours. So idea here is to utilize these rainwater tanks that we have here on the right-hand side in bulk. So a lot of these tanks, around 1,000 of those tanks, as a buffer for this rainwater, and then release it with some delay. For that, we need to measure, monitor, and control the level of water within this tank that we're going to do with Watersense sensor. And by that, we can reduce peak by 35 to 85%. Besides this use case, what is interesting is also using water level sensors in water tanks for bushfire protection in Australia. So on the left-hand side, we have here an example of that kind of tank. And the problem with wildfires was that a lot of help from other countries came, a lot of firemen came to help put out fires. But there was lack of having idea how much water is left within these tanks. So logistic was not organized, thus the water depleted. The other case is measuring water levels in drainage pipes for landslide protection in Austria. So this job is now done by hand with regular scheduled examinations going around and checking this, and the aim of the project is to digitalize this. So the question is, with all these use cases, what to do where there is no traditional LoRaWAN coverage? How can we measure such or enable such use cases there? The idea here was that we extend Watersense sensor with satellite connectivity. And for that, we have developed Watersense Lacuna together with partners Lacuna Space and IRNAS. Here are some specifications of the sensor. So the sensor itself, it's Watersense, as I presented before, but it uses Lacuna Space antenna and IRNAS modem. So together, it's a bit bulkier, it's a bit bigger, but then again, it has the same functionality and can work within the LoRaWAN connectivity area or in the middle of nowhere. So as it is for SenseTIC, we have developed this sensor through use cases. And now it's a full production certified sensor on the market, and the same path awaits Watersense. So now we have some concrete use cases, interesting use cases, and by the end of the year, it's going to be developed a sense pack with a ruggedized casing and being certified and ready for the market. So to conclude with a call to action, we would like you to help us to establish this preservation for wildlife, for koalas, so you can make your own contraptions for water tanks and also make them smart with Watersense sensors. Follow us on the social media regarding how the project is going, what are the results. We'll be posting there all the results and information. Stay tuned. Thank you.